Hi Founder fans, Jason here, and today we're going to be talking about the first casualty of the Revolutionary War. Now before we get started, I do want to say Happy New Year, and offer a quick apology. I did not put a video out yesterday as I normally would on a Tuesday. Unfortunately, I planned on doing it between getting home from work and hosting a New Year's Eve party. And unfortunately, we had a very weird storm came through, and we all got alerts on our phone, so I couldn't hit the road, and I just could not squeeze it in. I do sincerely apologize. But let's get to the first casualty of the American Revolutionary War. First, I will note that there are several people who qualify for this, and I am offering this person as an possible first casualty of the Revolutionary War, though it is very debatable, and I'm sure people will verily debate with me, and that's fine. But today we're going to be talking about Christopher Seider. One more note, I don't know if it's pronounced Cedar or Cider because it's a name I've only read, but it's Seider. So I understand it sounds like it's a traditionally German name, and my understanding is in Germany and German names, you pronounce the first letter of the E and the I. So if it was IE, it would be Cider. If it was EI, which it is, it would be Cedar. I'm going to say Cedar today. Hoping that's right. Feel free to correct me down below, but then again, you'd be typing it, and I'd still be reading it the way I read it. Anyway, why is Christopher Seider the first casualty of the Revolutionary War? So, before we talk about Christopher Seider, we need to talk about Ebenezer Richardson. Ebenezer Richardson was a tax collector in Boston who tried to collect some taxes in Boston in 1770. A point in time where collecting taxes in Boston wasn't necessarily the most popular thing to do. So he's trying to collect some taxes, and a crowd forms, as was wont to happen in Boston at the time, and a bunch of rowdy locals chased Richardson to his house, and they started throwing rocks at his house, and they broke some windows, and even hit his wife. And Richardson was starting to fear for his life, so he grabbed his gun, and he pointed it out his window. And this didn't help very much. In fact, the crowd that had gathered outside his house saw the gun and got real upset, so they started kicking in his door and entering his property. So Richardson pointed the gun back out the window and fired blindly. As you might expect, this worked out very poorly for him because he did hit someone. He hit today's protagonist, Christopher Seider. Christopher Seider may have been 12 years old, is usually what people say, but some sources say he was as young as 10. But either way, Christopher Seider was just a boy. He was hit in the chest, and he went down, and they tried to save him. My understanding is, I believe it was Dr. Joseph Warren actually tried to operate on him. If not, he definitely did the autopsy. But either way, Seider dies. And Samuel Adams, who was already the leader of this patriotic movement, I mean, we're in 1770, so he has almost 10 years of rallying the troops, if you will. Samuel Adams not only organizes the funeral, but gets everyone there. And over 2,000 people come and attend Christopher Seider's funeral. At the time of the Boston's population this was about 10% of Boston's population. So approximately 10% of Boston's population. A major undertaking. It's like if 1 million people in New York City went to a funeral right now. And Adams, as he would, made a big elaborate deal about it and really got people hot. And what is it? I believe it was 11 days later. There's another crowd that forms, and there's some more rocks that are thrown, and there are some more shots that are fired. And that event's a little more popular. We know it today as the Boston Massacre. So in a fashion, the death of Christopher Seider, which Adams turned him into a martyr. The martyrdom of Christopher Seider was less than 2 weeks before a similar event, the Boston Massacre, that would propel us towards revolution. And in a fashion, the death of Christopher Seider was really the first step, the first casualty, in many people's opinion, of the American Revolutionary War. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit like. If you're new here, please hit subscribe so you can get more of these videos. I put them out almost always 5 days a week, unless, like yesterday, events dictate not to. I would really appreciate it. If you want to support the site, please visit my Patreon page. You might like some of the rewards that I offer there. And with that, I will bid you adieu, and I will see you tomorrow.